This is Realtime Board. It is a visual tool and it can be very helpful in having some additional resources as you're building out your first funnel. Realtime Board is a drag and drop template, and the canvas is one that you can build a number of different template styles, and you can download these, you can share them, you can take a screen capture of them, and you can use them to build your funnel if you are creating documents. And I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of how this works. This is an amazing resource. And again, it has a free version and a paid version. So here I've chosen a very simple Venn diagram, and this is one of the diagrams I use when I ask people to think about how they're planning their online business strategy. You know, what component is training, what component is development, what component is income, who are they going to build a team with, what are solo projects, if any, how much help they need with project management or coaching. Now, this happens to be my diagram, so this actually represents a visual image of my business model, and I can send this to clients and let them know the fullness of what I have to offer them. Now, one of the really cool things about Realtime Board is that you can choose a template. You can capture, these are all the little things you can do. You can upload files onto your canvas. You can save files. You can add things from Chrome extension. You connect to Google Drive. You can bring in tables and charts, wireframes. You can find icons. You can do a Google search image and bring up your YouTube videos and Vimeo videos. This is profoundly useful when you're working with people, and I recommend it especially if you're sharing educational info contact with your clients in your business. And you, of course, can make very interesting but simple infographics here, and that is one of the special features. So I'm going to show you, this is again a simple Venn diagram of my business model. This is a diagram that I created just to get people started on what kinds of things you have to really get a handle on when you're creating your strategic plan for your online business. And I narrowed it down to some simple key functional tech clusters because that's what I do. I'm a tech coach. So I help people understand what these clusters are, where to begin, and how to move through their strategic process. So you see, we start with your domain, your website and hosting, pretty basic. You then add on your landing pages, your customer relations management, email and autoresponders. You're going to need that when you're building a funnel. Obviously, cluster 3, you're going to create some form of content, whether free or paid. Then we jump over to cluster 4, which is e-commerce and setting up a PayPal account to take care of your conversions when you have traffic. And then cluster 5 is your marketing. This is where your sales conversions happen. Your traffic is key to this, and social media is part of your marketing strategy. But what I also want to show you is that I can save this as an image. I can save this as a PDF. I can download the board backup. I can save this image to Google Drive. And there's more that I can do here. I can take a picture of it if I wanted to. So I'm going to show you that now. I can share this by adding an email address, and I can give people permissions to view or edit. You'll remember that from Google Drive. That's a similar opportunity that Google Drive offers, but here you're sharing specific, strong, visual charts, diagrams, and process materials. So here's where I can export this image. I can choose what quality I want to use. I can, they have a beta now for taking an image and exporting it as a vector. You know that the higher quality you choose for your images, the more file space that takes up. But I'm going to show you here how I can expand this. And I can make a complete, quick image, and I could use this as part of a PowerPoint presentation if I wanted to do that. And so if I want to Now I've got the frame. You move this around to get the frame that you want to capture for your image. You click on export, and now your board is being saved as a JPEG, and you have the opportunity to download it. And here you can see it has appeared in my tray, and it is ready for me to open up, and it's a JPEG. And this is another opportunity for you to see how you can make your own boards. If you have a process that you're working on and you want to share that process, or you want to clarify it for yourself, this is very helpful, because one of the things that I find working with my clients is people have ideas, but they're vague, and they haven't thought through how they're going to bring their idea into the next stage of being, which is it becomes something that becomes slightly more tangible, that can be shared in a very concrete way with other people before it necessarily becomes a full-on manifestation. So I think that with technology, we have wonderful opportunities to take ideas, translate them into digital form, and then move them into three-dimensional form. And we do that with our online businesses. We end up, if we're successful with our online business, we end up with a three-dimensional form of money in our bank account, and having happy customers who are out there in the world talking about what we do and how we help them. So this is Realtime Board. I will include a link to this. I want to show you some of the other simple features of Realtime Board. You use this icon, this here, to grab the screen and move things around. This is a freehand pen that you can use to draw whatever you want. If you're giving a demo and you're using Realtime Board like I'm using now, I could use this to create a video demo. You have the opportunity to add shapes. Here's what you can do. Connective lines, arrows, and I build out this entire diagram using these various shapes. You add text. Every one of these is a text block. You can see how I can change the text if I want to. And once you've finished your diagram, you can lock every element. So if you're having people to come in and view, they don't get to accidentally interfere or destroy or distort the board that you've made for yourself. This icon here represents the sticky notes. If you want to add a sticky note, you can just pop a sticky note in anywhere. There you go. Then you can type on it, type your note. And if you decide that you don't need that sticky note, you just simply delete it. But the board is saving all the time. Like Google, it does save automatically. You don't have to make any special efforts to save things. If you want to add a comment and you're working with projects, you can pop in a little comment here, and you can say what your opinion is about that placement. I think blah, 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 blah. You can send that comment to your team. You can reply, or you can just simply pin it to the board, and you can choose the color. If it's important, you're probably going to choose a high priority color. You can cancel these. I'm not going to save this. It's not really something I need on my board, but I wanted you to see it. So now I'm going to delete that. Okay. This, again, is your comments. These are your connectors. You can link objects, and this is your undo button. So again, just take a look at all of what's possible for you here. And then I want to show you that Realtime Board gives you a startup help with different kinds of potential template models that you might use to just get started on your project, and then carry along and make your own visuals as you become more familiar with the resource. Now here again, you see I started with a Venn diagram, and it's a wonderful, 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 wonderful resource. And even if you're not using it to build a funnel, if you are a parent and you have kids who are working on projects and reports, and you want to help them learn how to do this in a tool that is free and simple. They can upload video, they can find web pages, and it's just a wonderful tool for any student, I would say, in middle school or high school to have as a resource as well. So that's a freebie tip for you. Okay, so this is the very quick, I'm trying to keep it simple, but it's worth 10 or 12 minutes for you to know about Realtime Board. And I have included a link to the resource in the description of the product within the course.